Welcome to my presentation. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you may be, wherever and whenever you may be in the world. It's good to have you here, and thank you for attending my presentation. The AI you see may be the AI that deceives you, and I am Kevin Piles. Just quickly about me, I currently work at Family Search. I got a lot of AI stuff there, and I enjoy traveling. And I had the opportunity to visit India multiple times, but one time I was able to watch a cricket match live. And so I'm now a huge fan of the Chennai Super Kings. Um, would like to start with a question. What impresses you about AI? And so you can think about any number of things. I'm going to give you just 5 seconds to think about. Hopefully something will pop in your head. I have no idea what popped into your head, but I'm going to give a couple of examples of things that might have popped into your head. There's just so much going on right now in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And one of those things is ChatGPT, obviously super popular. And I assume that everybody has at least tried that out. If you haven't, go do it. Not difficult, and you can get started and see how amazing and flawed the latest in AI is. Another thing is Gemini, Alexa, and Siri. And I think that these are they've been pretty cool, right? You remember when Siri first came out and you'd ask Siri these questions, and it was surprising that she would respond, and super exciting, right? And then kind of, that hype died down. And then it's really picking back up now that we have these LLMs and again, ChatGPT powering or LLMs powering these things, but they're exciting again, and we'll have new opportunities with them. One more thing is just digital avatars. They're super cool. You can take an image or a video, you can upload it. Of course, most of us don't actually build this stuff, right? We just use it. So we upload our image or we upload a video, and then you can type out what you want your avatar to say, or you can have, you could be somebody else. And it's super cool. Many companies are using these now, and it's just really amazing how far we have come from where we were and how cool this new stuff is. Something as simple as a digital avatar that before was either just so much work to create, just a minute or two of video, is now really easy to create something. Of course, we're not building it, so somebody else is doing a lot of work, but we get to benefit by taking advantage of all of their hard work. Now, I would like to share three other examples that you may not be as familiar with. And I'm going to go into a little bit more depth with these just to give an idea of how AI and ML are being used today live. Like this is real stuff. This is pretty cool. So again, I work at a company called Family Search. And the idea behind Family Search is that we help you, of course, find your family. And you can go to our website, get a free account or whatever. But the idea is that when you put in your name, you can then see the history of your family, or put in your grandpa, your grandma, your great grandpa, or great grandma, and you'll see who they're related to, which of course means that you're related to them. And you get all of this information around your history. And how do we do this is what I want to talk about, because there are millions and millions of names and documents, and we're trying to gather all this information and make it available to everybody. But some of these documents are really hard to read, and there's just so many. Even if you wanted to go one by one and they were easy, it would still just take forever to do this. Some of them are not easy to read. And here's an example. You can zoom in as much as you want. I can even get you a high resolution image on this one. You can zoom in really far on this one, but there's a challenge. We've got to take this and we have to convert it into something like this. Meaning we need to turn it into data that we can then publish out on a website for anybody to come and use, search, right? And find something, as opposed to going page by page through a document trying to find information that you can't read anyway. What a challenge. And we're trying to make that super simple for everyone. It's a challenge, but ML to the rescue. So what we do is we scan the document, or somebody else can scan the document and pass it into our systems. And then we do a lot of machine learning on top of this. And you can imagine a lot of the algorithms that might be used for something like this. It's really cool. Like it actually works. And so you can see in this image that the ML is finding these different regions, finding the words. And then you can see that as I hovered my mouse over top of this first little piece of this document, that again, you may not be able to understand this, but that's a lot easier to understand than what you were seeing in that document. And this is Portuguese. So somebody who speaks Portuguese could easily read this now and can enter that data into a system that can then be searchable. Or we can just do it, right? We can extract this data and then we can publish the data. And you can see it can look something like this initially, which means that we can then format it however we want to. We're even finding relationships between, in this case, it's a marriage document. So we're seeing who was married to who their parents were, where they were living, things like that. Really cool stuff using machine learning. So this is practical machine learning. Another example is a company called Lifelink. And what they're doing is they're trying to help specifically right now the elderly, but it can expand later on. And some of the features that they're looking at is health monitoring and alerts. And of course, if you read these features, cognitive and emotional support, home automation and safety, family and social connectivity. This is something that you probably thought of yourself. Wouldn't it be cool if we had monitors in place that could help somebody who needs some assistance in whatever way, right? It could be the elderly, but it could be just somebody after a surgery or that maybe is in some remote area. And we could have systems in place that would help them. And again, it's not creepy. It's helping them. It's something that they want. That could be a companion to them that could monitor their health and how they're doing. And so how does this work? Well, this is running out of, it's a 2-year pilot program in connection with the University of Tokyo. And they're using wearables, smartphones, and other devices to gather as much data as they can. And then they're a companion for these people. And they're gathering all of this data in real time, using that to provide information, data, alerts, notifications, whatever it may be, not just for these people, but also for their families and medical professionals. So an example of that would be like on an Apple Watch, right? If somebody falls, then the 911 emergency could be called. But there could be so much more that can be done now with chatbots and LLMs because now a conversation can take place with that person. And maybe it's not just that they fell and they need emergency services, but maybe they're just not feeling well and they need somebody to talk to. And that's exactly what Lifelink can provide. Now, how well does it work? We've got some stats here in just a second, but I just wanted to point out that that these things are very helpful. I do question, how well are we doing as humanity? Maybe we should be in these situations, but AI can definitely help and share some of this data with you as to how well it's actually helping. So reduction in ER visits, down 35%. What? Just by providing this emotional connection with the artificial intelligence and with family and medical professionals. But here's an interesting one. Cognitive test scores actually go up again because they have somebody to converse with, because they have all this data on themselves, and they know that somebody is there monitoring, helping them, serving them. Their cognitive test scores, and they're active, right? They're thinking, they're sharing. The adoption rate is just a business thing. Won't worry about that. But people are actually feeling more secure and less lonely, knowing that even though it's AI, that someone or something is there helping them. And of course, families also feel a peace of mind. And of course, those numbers are fantastic, right? User satisfaction up 85% and family peace of mind up 90%. Well done. All right, there's another company called Checky.ai. And for those of you who are in the software world, which is pretty much all of us now, right? We all use software. Testing software is tedious, it's time consuming, it's very expensive. Could AI solve this problem as well by going and testing our websites, our apps without human intervention? And that's exactly what Checky.ai has set out to do. And so they're standardizing software quality with AI. In the past, even with automation, it's been somebody writing that automation that then runs against one app at a time, and it doesn't scale. It doesn't go broad or deep. It's just like one automated test at a time. But now with AI, we don't have to do that. We can tell the AI in a prompt, in an action, what to do, and then it can go do it across all the websites. And that's exactly what Checky.ai is doing. And it's not just, hey, go check this, but to security testing, to performance testing, user interactions. And I love this last one, emotional testing. How do I feel when I'm using your website? We've never been able to do that with automation in the past. Uh, Checky.ai, again, is already doing this. So this isn't something that's 10 years down the road. This is happening right now. This is an example of it working right here on their website, showing some of the data. Again, tons of data on a website that the founder has probably never even looked at. He just puts in a URL. The bots go out and test that website and produce all of this data that this company or any of these companies would be able to go review. Pretty cool stuff. Testing as a service now, as opposed to a bunch of people somewhere that's testing your website or that you're paying for locally to do that. Pretty cool AI stuff, right? I get pretty excited about all of this. Again, multiple examples here. But what if I told you that AI just deceived you? And I go, what? What just happened? Well, if you were paying attention, we just walked through three different uh, supposedly real world examples of artificial intelligence. I like to play a little game with you, two truths and a lie. Uh, Two of the products that I just shared with you are real, and that's a true, but one of them is actually a lie. The first one, Family Search, I do work for them, so that's a truth. Cool stuff that we're working on. And Checky.ai, also real company. You go out and check out their website and get your products tested. But LifeLink was made up. It's a complete fabrication, but it wasn't made by me. It was 100% made up by ChatGPT. All of the details that you saw, the images that you saw, the data that you saw was all made up by ChatGPT. In fact, even the charts were made by ChatGPT, and then I just doctored them a little bit to make them fit into my slide presentation. The bullet points, the idea that this company, LifeLink, the icon, all of it was made by artificial intelligence. And even the details that I may not have shared. For example, this particular product, ChatGPT said would be best if tested and started in Japan, which is why it came up with the University of Tokyo to partner with, and this 2-year testing program would take place there because there's an older population because they're very tech savvy. They're not afraid of the technology. And all of their kids would also have the technology that would allow them to communicate. But it was all a lie. Now, this is a concern. In this case, it's not a concern. I told you, no big deal. Nobody's hurt by it, whatever. But we could easily be deceived in blog posts or social media or the news because we're not paying attention. We're not looking for a lie, right? In this case, you were just listening to me share some ideas about some cool products that I'd seen. Little did you know that ChatGPT had created all of that particular product. So what do we do about this? Because again, in this presentation, no big deal, whatever. But in the real world, this could be a problem. This could be a big deal. So how do we stop this AI takeover? I'd like to walk through a few of the ideas that I've had around how we can stop. Stop is a very strong word. I don't think we're going to stop this, but we can definitely detect it and we can help us to be less deceived by artificial intelligence. One of these examples or rules or regulations that we could put in place is the opportunity to just say, hey, I opt out of this. What does that even mean? Well, it means that you can't use my data to train your AI system. How would we do this? We just have a place you can go. You can register and say, you know what, I don't want you to use my art in training your AI systems, but I'm okay if you use my health records. And I really don't want you to impersonate me. So if we'd be able to set those up, and then the important part is we do, unfortunately, because I really don't like government regulation, but I believe that this is going to be necessary to enforce the rules and the best practices, the regulations, the laws, the just everything, the standards that we want in place so that AI doesn't run amok. I do believe that it needs to be in cahoots with the people that are creating the AI as well as the general population, so that we can come up with something that's fair, that makes sense, but also allows us to grow with the AI. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But I'm also not proposing by using this particular slide that I'm all in with the EU's AI Act, but I am grateful that they're thinking about it and that they publish what their thoughts are, so that everyone else can take a look at this and see, where are they going with this? What does it mean? All right, and another a very simple one that could be put in place, and we're seeing multiple companies do this already. These are AI generated images, and you know that because, well, the one on the right is kind of obvious, but the one on the left is a little bit more difficult to decipher. But they put these little icons on in this case images, but it could happen with videos, it could happen with text, where we just say, hey, AI helped with this, or AI generated this, and then we're not deceived. Now I can still enjoy what has been created, but I don't have to be deceived by what has been created. We can also use AI to detect AI. In this case, I used an AI detector, and I put this text in here. And ironically, some of it was written by AI. And in this case, it was detected that it was most likely written by a human. Might be true, might not be true. It's 21% certainty. I don't know that that's very certain, and I don't know that we would want to run off of 21% guessing, but there it did. And then some tweaks were made to the text, and now it believes that AI was written 35.6%. Probably this text was entirely written by AI. Interesting. Now, this will get way better over time as more and more examples are sent to the AI detector. And of course, this is a free tool. As we get some more people involved and we build out more robust models, we could easily detect a lot of the AI that is being produced. And what's the purpose in that? Just so that we know, right? We could detect if it's true, meaning we could test for factuality, but at the same time, we can just detect if AI produced it, so that we as a people can say, I don't know if I want to trust that because it was generated with AI, or I'm going to go do some research myself to make sure that that was accurate, whatever was produced. Now, I do recommend that we don't fall for all the hype. Okay. Now, what does that even mean? Well, there's been a lot of predictions around AI and what it's going to do, and that it's going to do everything for us. And so we need to be scared. And so all the regulations need to be put in place so that nobody can do anything with AI. Okay, back up for just a second. That's not the right route. Let's not fall for all of this hype. At the same time, and here's a few quotes about things that were predicted, right, that would happen, and most of them were supposed to have already happened. And we're talking like a prediction of cars driving themselves from California to New York with no interventions. That was told that we would have that in 2017. It's 2024. It's not happening, but it will. Eventually, it will happen. But don't ignore the hype either. Don't think, oh, this AI stuff, it's just hype. Listen, if you're not using AI right now, you're not as fast as you could be, right? So use the AI where it makes sense. use it to help you, but don't worry about the AI doing everything for you because it's just not doing everything yet. Yep. I like to call the future an AI partnered future. In software development, I call this an AI partnered development because AI can really help us in all the phases of software development. The same thing in whatever profession you are in. Where can AI help? Where can you partner with the AI? That's the future. And at least for the next foreseeable future, it's an AI partnered future. We're going to see where AI is going to help us in every single profession in some way. But in some portions of it, it may not be able to do it for years. Um, so look for opportunities to partner with the AI. That's my challenge to all of us is as we're looking for the AI, we should have rules and regulations in place to help us find the AI so that we're not deceived by it. But we should be looking for opportunities to partner with the AI. Thank you.